On the topic of the weather, we're having a nice mild week this week, but you know the drill here in Southern Nevada. We have extreme heat, and we're not alone. We see these pockets all throughout the United States. That also means there's an increased danger for kids being accidentally left in hot cars. Unfortunately, we see it every single summer here in Southern Nevada. And on that note, there is studies being done where an average of 37 children die annually from heat stroke because they were left in the car. And it doesn't have to just be extreme heat. Get this. A child can go through heat stroke even when it could be, say, just 60 degrees outside. Let's welcome in an expert to talk about this. That would be Laura Dunn, joining us live from DC this morning. And your organization, and this is essentially the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, correct?
It is.
And you guys have collected all of this data, and you have a heat stroke prevention campaign right now. And I love this message: stop, look, and lock. Talk to me about how you guys came up with this.
So we launched our campaign in 2024 and we titled it Never Happens. We want to show parents that this can happen to them. Many parents think that their children will never be a victim of a hot car or this will never happen to them, but it happens to dozens of families every year. So we want to reinforce to parents that before leaving your car, you should stop, look in the back seat for your child, and then lock. So our phrase, stop, look, lock.
And Laura, I've also heard different tricks throughout the years as far as experts saying, put your cell phone back by the car seat. I know it may sound strange, but usually everyone is panicked if they can't find their phone or they're constantly grabbing for their phone. But they may accidentally, if they have a sleeping child in the back seat, forget that they have the child in the back seat.
Yeah, we talk about several tips, and one of them is putting your phone, your work bag, your purse, your badge, something that you're going to need for the rest of the day in the back seat. So when you park, you get to your location, you have to get out and physically open that back seat and get what you need for the day, just as an extra check to make sure that your child is no longer in the car and that they've gotten where they need to be. Another tip that we like to give to parents is if your child is in childcare, if your child hasn't arrived within 15 to 20 minutes of when they're supposed to be there, have your child care provider give you or the other parent a call and just say, "Hi, is your child coming today?" And give your family that extra layer of protection in the morning, especially if you have a change in routine.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, think about how you'll just lose your sunglasses or something else if you have a change in routine. But unfortunately, we do have these dire situations only because, oh, I went to the store this time first instead of going to daycare first, things like that, where people can just be confused and in a rush and have this tragedy strike. Is there anything else that you have done through your extensive research that will be helpful as far as information we can use here in Southern Nevada to make sure we don't have another single child die in our community?
Another way that children die in hot cars is when they get into a car and then they're unable to get out. So this happens with older kids. So we want to reinforce to parents and caregivers that you should lock your car in your driveway or your garage and put your keys and your key fobs up and out of reach. Have that conversation with your children and talk to children about that cars are not a safe place to play. They're not a safe place to play at all. I would also encourage this for people that do not have children. So you are locking your car when you get home, whether you're parking in your driveway or in your garage, because unfortunately we have seen cases where neighborhood kids get into other people's vehicles. So make sure you're locking your cars and putting your keys and key fobs up and out of reach when you're home.
I am so glad you brought up that element. I didn't even think about that, and I should, because we do have a tragic case here from years ago where it was a hide and seek situation out at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway with kids just kind of playing around as everyone's tailgating. And we had a young boy die in the trunk of a car playing hide and seek. No one knew that he was in there until it was too late. So words of wisdom that we can all use as a community to have each other's back. Laura, I cannot thank you enough for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.